being an inexperienced man with women in your 30s is probably one of the scariest things that will ever gonna happen to you. With women, as you guys know, it's always should start as like when you're like very young, when you're a teenager. With women, you have to gather those experiences when you're a teenager. Like when I would say like when you're like 10 years old. You should start gathering those experiences, like first, you got to know like how to act around women. You have to know like what women want. You have to know like what to tell a woman and all that stuff. Well, I mean, if you're a teenager, it's not necessarily a woman, it's like a little girl, but you have to know how to behave and act around these girls, and when you're a guy and you're like 30 plus and you never had no experience with girls or with women, that's just gonna make your situation like so much worse. And I'll tell you why. Because let's say if you want to find a girlfriend or you want to talk to girls, right? You don't know nothing. You don't know. First of all, you don't know how to approach them. Second of all, you don't know how to talk to them. Third of all, you don't know how to act around them. Fourth of all, you don't know like any signs or anything about that. If they give you signs and all that, and you don't know like what they say and what they mean it and all that stuff. And it's just like with women, if you make one mistake, or if they sense that you don't have a lot of experience with other women, they will immediately cut you off, and they're not gonna even give you an explanation or nothing. They have so many options. Why would they choose me? They have so many options. They have so many guys that their body counts are similar to them or maybe higher, that they don't feel the need to like talk to you. So, and yes, experience is very, very essential to women. A man's experience is very crucial. Like, women are not going to even look at you if you're not experienced. Like, a lot of times, a woman can tell that from your face or appearance that you're an inexperienced man. For example, they can look at your overall appearance. They can look at your body. They can look at your height. They can look at your face. They can look at your like, how do you carry yourself? How do you walk? And all that stuff. They can sense that you don't have no confidence, because like confidence comes from like, from like you having a positive reinforcement from women, and if you don't have a positive reinforcement from women, then they can already see that in your face, and they can already tell that you were like an unwanted man, and as a result you're going to be inexperienced, and they don't like that. And I don't care how old they are, I don't care where they're from, I don't care what ethnicity they are gonna be the same, bro. They are gonna treat you like crap. And it's not a good feeling, bro. It's not a good feeling. Like, even a girl who's not experienced or a virgin, she's not gonna give you a chance to another guy who's like inexperienced and virgin. So that goes to show you something, So, a lot of times people say like, oh, find a girl that is like-minded and all that stuff. I'm like, you cannot find a girl that is like-minded. If you're like a TFLer, if you're like a black pillar, most likely you can never find a girl that is like-minded as you. So it's just like it's just one of those things that it actually affects your self-esteem. That and as the days go by, as the years go by, it's getting worse. If you don't, if you're not experienced, like whenever you were like 14 or 13 or something, and you didn't have like constantly that good experience or that good vibe or whatever with women, then it's going to be extremely difficult to impossible for you um achieve connection with women that you meet in the future. Like, I met a lot of girls, in the past, like when I was like in my 20s, like mid 20s, late 20s, and I could tell like they all like could tell that I never had anybody and all that stuff, and they're kind of like started to fade away. I just started noticing that they were like start getting distant. They start getting distant and all that. They start like not texting me after the first meetup and all that stuff. And I know you guys gonna be like, oh, because you blew it up, because this, that, and the other. No, it's not because of that. I mean, here's the thing, guys. If you're a guy in your 30s and you're not experienced, you don't know how to act. Like, well, first of all, with women, everything is a mission. Like, the first mission is to get her attention. Like, how do you get her attention? Like, but let's say like after you work hard and you got her attention, now you gotta get her number, go talk to her and all that stuff, speed the game or riz her up or whatever it is, whatever bullcrap it is nowadays. And after that, you have to do everything correctly. If you do everything correctly, then you can get her number and come home and text her. And if you're not experienced, you're gonna text her wrong. You're gonna text her at the wrong time. You're gonna like say stuff that is gonna turn her off immediately, because that's how women are. Like, you should never, you should watch what you're saying, bro. You can't just say whatever you want with these women, bro. And let's say you let's say you go on a first date, right? You don't know what to do. You really don't know what to do. Like, me personally, I don't know where to take a woman, like, on a first date. I don't know. Like, I know you have to take her to a cool place or a good place or whatever, but I don't know where. Like, I don't know any restaurants out here. No, I don't know any good restaurants out here. I don't know any, like, if she says like I want to go like sushi place or whatever. Oh, by the way, you have to read her mind too. You have to be like you have to know like exactly what she wants and all that, because most women, they just like, oh, you have to take the lead and all that stuff. But guess what? I don't know what it's my first time meeting you. I don't know what you want to eat and all that stuff. What if like I like Mediterranean food and you like Asian food? Or what if like I like Mexican food and you like Chinese food or whatever? Like, I don't know. So basically, you gotta ask them. But the thing is, like, let's say if they open enough to tell you, like, let's say, oh, okay, I want to go to this place. You don't know any place, like, you don't know any place that is good, all that stuff. You don't know, like, if it's actually a good place. You don't know if you should know all those stuff, because a lot of times with women, you got to know all those stuff. And so let's say you manage to take her on a date, actually, like on an actual date, like you found a place and all that, and you don't know how to act around her, like you don't know like how to carry yourself. You're gonna be nervous, you're gonna be awkward, you're gonna be like you're gonna be tongue tied. You're not gonna know what to say, because you don't have experience. And women can read that. Sometimes you're gonna have those weird movements, Your legs are start shaking and all that stuff. She can see it in your face that you're nervous, and she's not gonna be nervous because like she probably went on like thousands of dates, already, and she knows exactly how to act around men, because she's been around with so many men and she gone out with so many men. But you, my guy, if it's the first day that you're going out, I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna be extremely difficult because like you're gonna try your best not to blow it up, and chances are that you're gonna blow it up, and that's just all it is, man. Because like I did it, I did blow it up before, and it's not a good feeling, bro. Like every day I feel like regret. Every day I felt like, oh damn, like I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. I'm like stuff. I started like blaming myself and all that stuff. But I came to the conclusion that I'm just not experienced. I'm just like I'm not really what women want. Like it's just I've never been a chosen one. I never like gone on dates, like so many dates. And and after like let's say you got lucky and you passed the first date. Now you're gonna like let's say you get into the next stage, like next stage, like now you should like seduce her and all that stuff. Like I don't know how to seduce women. I don't know how to make them laugh. Like I can be funny guy, but maybe to women I'm not funny. I don't know. I had like women call me funny before, but I don't think they were being genuine, because women always say like I want a man that makes me laugh and all that stuff. I want a man that makes a clown out of himself and all that stuff to make me laugh and all that. Say jokes. You have to know what to say. Like you have to know what jokes to say. You have to know your tone of voice when you're talking to her. You have to know like all that stuff, bro. And I know some of you gonna be like, oh my god, you're just over exaggerating everything. You guys know no shit, bro. But anyways, let's say now it gets to like, let's say now you and her, you guys are in the car, or you guys are like behind the bushes, or you guys are in an empty park, or you guys are in like a dark place, or maybe like a hotel room, or maybe your crib if you have one, and things are starting getting real, like things are start getting real, like you don't know, like you don't know what to do, like when like now things are getting real, and you don't know what to do. You're just standing there like a statue, like, and she's like looking at you, she's looking at you with those eyes and all that stuff. You know how those women that are looking at you, when they wanna get drilled. Now she's on the bed, sitting on the bed, put one leg on another leg, and she just like playing with her hair, looking at you and all that, and you're in front of her. You don't know what to do, and she gets up, she's touching you, she started like getting close to your neck, and she started whispering some stuff, and you're just standing there like doing nothing because you don't know what to do, and she's just like grabbing your neck, and like all of a sudden like try to take you to the bed, and then like now it's the time that clothes coming off, so let's say you took off your clothes. Now you don't know like what to, like she's literally like there, laying down, all that, and you're just like, sometimes you can't even get hard, like imagine like you seeing like a woman first time getting naked in front of you, and things are getting like so intense, and you just like freeze, you just freeze. You don't know what to do, man. Like, and you pull it out and you try to put it inside of her. Now like you have to put it in the right hole, But now all of a sudden, like, you have to know like how to have sex with her. You have to know how to get her done like the way she wants it. And most women want it rough, rough and rugged. Most women wanna like want you to make them scream louder than like louder than an alarm. And if you can't do that, man, she's not gonna even let you climax, bro. She's not gonna even let you orgasm. And the whole time you just like in shock, because the whole time you were like, oh my god, what the hell did I put myself into? Now I don't know what to do. I don't know, like, all that stuff. And you're confused as hell. And she's just there disappointed, that you couldn't get her done. And she was like, oh my god, I gave this guy a chance. Now, like, he doesn't know what to do. What a disappointment and all that stuff. And look at her. She's looking at you and everything's awkward. Like, it's done. Everything is done. Like, she's just lost the whole interest in you. Like, you just blew up that chance. But it's not your fault, because you just like that inexperienced with women, bro. Like, you're just so inexperienced that you can't get certain clues or certain hints. Like, you don't know like how to act in certain situations, bro. You don't know, like, it's just so much shit to do, bro. It's just so much shit. And it kind of like sometimes, it can be scary, bro. Like, sometimes it can be scary, like, especially if you're doing something for the first time or second time or whatever, or you haven't done it a lot. Sometimes it can be scary, bro. And unintentionally you can turn women off, and women don't care, bro. Women don't care. Women just want to experience men. Women want somebody that knows what they're doing, bro. Women don't want to babysit you. Women don't want to like tell you how to do certain things. Women don't want to tell you like how to make a girl orgasm and all that stuff. They don't want to they don't want to tell you like like how to seduce a girl. Like, they don't want to say that shit, bro, because they feel like it's your job to already know that. And if you're a guy that you don't know that, you have to go through like hundreds, like tens or even hundreds of like awkward and weird situations to learn that shit, bro. And if you're an unwanted guy, chances are you're not gonna learn anytime soon. And it's just like, it just puts you in a bad situation, man. It just puts you in the bad mood. You come home, you're depressed, you're angry, and you just like talking down on yourself, telling yourself like how much of a like weirdo are you, because you couldn't get her done, because you couldn't make her like, you couldn't make her like probably like, I don't know, orgasm and all that. And you couldn't even make yourself orgasm. I mean, that's how bad it is, bro. And the funny thing is, I've been in these situations. I went to, like, when I was like 18 years old, I went to a strip club with my friends. I'm not gonna say everything about the strip club. Maybe that's another video. But I went to the strip club, and man, there was this girl came to me, and she sat on my lap, and I didn't know what to say, bro. Like, I was literally so nervous. I was smiling a lot. When you're nervous, like, you never had a girl, you start smiling a lot. And I could literally see in her face, bro. She just like turned her head to her friend, and she gave her that look that, oh, this guy's so lame, this guy's super lame and all that stuff. And she just kind of like turned her face to me and start like pretending that she likes me. Start pretending like, oh, this is gonna be that. If you want some VIP, it's gonna be this. If you want some lap dance, it's gonna be that much and all that stuff. I'm like, oh my god. And I was like, maybe, and she knew like I didn't have no like experience, and she was like, you want to go to start with the lap dance? I'm like, sure. I went to like a couple of lap dances, and man, she was aggressive, bro. Like, she pulled out my belt, like she was grinding on me. She pulled up her belt. She pulled out my belt, put it around my neck and all that stuff, and like, like freaking rub her titties on my face and all that stuff. And she was like jiggling her butt on my on my junk. And the whole time, like I was there like feeling weird, bro. The whole time I was like, I didn't know what was going on. I was just seeing like a girl was like going up and down on me, and to me, I started like sweating, like I was like, is this really happening? Like, really? Like, is this really happening? Because it was my first time seeing a naked girl at the age of 18, like completely naked. And she just like, and then she went down, to my crotch, and she started like, she started grabbing my crotch, and she noticed that I wasn't getting hard. And I was so embarrassed. I was so like shamed. I turned red, bro. And I saw her face. And she was like, I did all this work, and this mother effer, like, it's not getting hard. Like, what the hell? Because I was so nervous, bro. I was extremely nervous. I never had a girl had done that to me before, and it just happened, like, and I felt weird, bro. Like, imagine like a girl is right in front of you, all naked, grinding on you, and you can't get hard, like, and then she's grabbing your crotch, and she's like, the hell, like, this fool's not, it's not hard, like. And she kind of got disappointed. She was like, I did all this work for nothing, Like, is this guy like a pussy or something? What is wrong with this guy? But, she kind of already felt that I wasn't experienced, but she was going along with it because she wanted to get my money, And, man, that after I came out of that strip club, I was like, man, I couldn't even make it to VIP, bro, obviously. Like, as soon as, like, I came, like, let me tell you guys this. So I came out of that lap dance. I did like a couple of lap dances, and that shit was expensive, but not as nearly as expensive the VIP. But like I said, I didn't do VIP, so 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 I came out of that room where like she was like, they were playing music like for the lap dance. I came out, she grabbed my hand, and she sat down with me on a chair, for like a couple minutes, and she was like, hey, look, I'm gonna go over there and dance, so and all that stuff. And then after that, like, she just like literally left, she left, and I kind of already knew like what was going on. I already knew like she got turned off. And later she went to tell her friends that I gave this weirdo a lap dance, and all this stuff happened, and it kind of felt weird, bro. When I came home, I was like, oh my god, that was one of the worst things that ever happened to me, that I was in a, I usually found myself in weird situations, And that was one of the weirdest situations I could find myself in. And that's all because I'm an inexperienced man, you know? I'm just like, I'm not experienced, bro. I'm not a ladies man or nothing. And I saw her, like, there's this black guy, tall, good looking black guy, you know. She didn't even charge her, you know, for a VIP, and this guy took her to VIP, bro. So yeah, guys, there's nothing worse than being inexperienced with women, bro, because obviously, like, thoughts, you know, the ones that for the streets, you know, they're not gonna mess with you because they already know, like, they already know, like, you're lame as fuck. But not only that, but you know, these girls that, let's say, they're not the most experienced, they're not even gonna give you a chance too, because they want like a top dog, they want like players, you know. Like, I'm telling you that these girls that are not experienced, or these girls that they have low body count, I don't believe any girl has low body count, but you know, it's just like these girls, they want players, bro. These girls want like the max, you know. And even they admit that, bro. Even they themselves admit that. So, you know, it's just one of those things, man. You know, you already know women are experienced. You know, you already know women, like, they got around with so many guys, they go out with so many guys, they've been touched by so many guys, they've been done by so many guys, they've been going on a dates with so many guys. It's just like it's for them, it's like another day, you know. For them, it's nothing, bro. And this is why whenever you go out with a girl, she's not nervous, bro. Like, this is why whenever you go out with a girl, she's just like sitting there and waiting for you to do all the work, because, like, in her mind, she's like, I'm not gonna do that shit. I'm not gonna let him do it, and hopefully it doesn't blow it up. So they're gonna, like, and also one more thing, when you go on a date, women are always testing you and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, women are always like shit testing you. They're always trying to, like, try to be slick with you. And if you don't have the right answers, if you don't have the right responses, that's an automatic turn off for her. Now, like, automatically she's gonna get turned off, and she will never see you again, ever. And it's just like, you have to know. And if you're an inexperienced guy, always you're gonna be fumbled, you know. You're gonna get folded, and that's not a good feeling, bro. Like, getting folded, getting fumbled by these women, you know, like, whenever they give you these tests and all that stuff, that shit ain't fun, bro. Like, and all women are the same, bro. They all gonna do the same thing to you, unless, like, they're really, really attracted to you, which is, how often does that happen for somebody who's not like the top dog, you know? Especially, sorry guys, especially these days, how often do you see that, you know, a woman, like, gives an average guy a pass because, like, you know, he made a mistake, or he didn't do or say whatever she wants? How often do you see that, bro? I don't see that often, bro. And if you didn't have girlfriend by the age of, like, I would say 17, if you didn't have a girlfriend by the age of 17, then you should really focus on getting girls and getting that experience, bro. Because as you get older, your chances are, like, finding a girl, it's gonna be very, 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 like, slimmer. It's gonna get very smaller. And I'm just telling you, man. I'm just telling you. It's not easy, bro. It's not easy. Dealing with women is not easy. Talking to women is not easy. And it's not easy because you haven't had that experience ever since you're young, you know? You haven't got that experience since you're young. That's why it's hard. And it's women are like cutthroat, especially nowadays, bro. Women are cutthroat. Like if you don't know how to act around them, if you don't know how to talk to them, boom, that's it, bro. You're gonna be like you're gonna be gone in seconds. They just gonna get up and leave. They're not gonna even explain to you. Like if over the text, if he says something that she doesn't like or you thought like it was gonna be funny, but to her it's not, guess what? She's gonna leave you on red and she's gonna block you and she's gonna move on, bro. She's gonna be like next guy. She's gonna start texting another guy, bro. And women are emotional, bro. Like you have to exactly know how to like manipulate them. You know, you have to know how to manipulate their emotions. If you don't know how to manipulate their emotions, you're not gonna get any women, unless like you're a Chad. Like women, you know, they have rules. You know, they have rules for guys that are not attractive. You know, and the rules are if you're not experienced. Well, one of the rules. If you're not experienced, they're not even gonna look at you. That's it. And regardless of like what you do for them, regardless if you're a simp. And the worst part is that if you're a simp, you know, that means you're inexperienced, bro. If you don't have a lot of experience with women, that means you're a simp. You know, you're begging women and all that stuff. That's one of the biggest mistakes that you can make, you know, begging for women to be with you and all that. I'm going to make another video about that, but yeah, man, it's just, you know, it's just it's so bad when you're in your 30s and you only gone to like maybe one or two dates, or if you haven't gone to a date at all. Like imagine that feeling, bro. Imagine that feeling and you see everybody else, you know, going out, you know, everybody else having a partner, everybody else having a girlfriend, holding hands, kissing, sitting on each other's lap and all that. That's gonna be torturing to you, bro. And what's more torturing is that you have men that are like in their early teens, like 12, 13-year-old, have way more experience than you, that you're in your 30s. That's way more freaking torturing, bro. You see like a 15, 16-year-old having like a beautiful girlfriend, you know? Like a fresh girlfriend, like fresh meat, you know? And if you don't gather those experiences when you're young, like let's say like if you're young, you never had that girl that was like, I don't know, around your age. I don't know, whatever it is, in your teens, like around your age. I'm not talking about no pedo shit, but let's say like if you're 16, you find a girl that is 15, you know, and all that stuff. And then like when you're a guy like 18, you find a girl that was 17. You're like 19, girls like 18. 20, like 22, girls like 20. You know, it's something like that, you know. If you didn't have like younger girls when you were younger, chances are you're not gonna get younger girls. Actually, you cannot get younger girls because it's gonna look bad on you. Let's say like people are gonna get weirded out that you're going out with a 22-year-old and you're like 32. Like people are gonna be like, what the hell is this guy doing? Even both of you are adults, but that doesn't look good, you know, to society. Because that 22-year-old should be with a guy who's like 24, 25. Not like a guy in his early to mid 30s. But the problem is that women like older men. That's a myth, bro. You know, women like older men, that's a myth. Women like older men that are accomplished. Women like older men that look good, that are in shape, that are like got their stuff together, you know? Women don't like no like freaking 40-year-old virgin living with his mom and working at 9 to 5, you know? They don't want that crap, bro. They don't want that. They want a guy who's like, I would say in their late 30s, early 40s, who have like few businesses, who's a CEO, who's in shape, and who looks good. But I'm just saying, man, the moral of the story is that if you're a guy in your 30s and you're not experienced, man, you're most likely gonna die a virgin. That's just what I'm saying. Unless you're one of these people in this community, like, say, like, pay for it, like pay for an escort and all that stuff. Sometimes, you know what's funny? Sometimes not even escorts wanna bang you, bro. You know, sometimes not even escorts wanna mess with you if you're not a really like experienced guy. Or if you're not experienced guy, they can already tell you in your face, and they're gonna charge you double. They're gonna be like, oh, this guy cannot like go down on me, so I'm gonna charge him double. So they're gonna punish you for not being experienced, bro. Like, women are gonna punish you for not being experienced. And and that's just how it goes, man. That's just how women are. That's just how this world is. And to you young guys that you're listening to me, I know a lot of young guys are listening to me. You guys are like 19, 20, 24, 25, 26, 27, whatever. Get that experience, bro. Get that experience. Do not be like me. Do not be like me. Okay? Because if you're gonna be like me, you're gonna get stuck. You know, you're gonna get stuck, and your life is gonna your life is gonna get destroyed. Because when you don't have experience with women, you're not gonna have good self-esteem. If you don't have like a lot of experience with women, you're not gonna feel good about yourself. If you don't have a lot of experience with women, you're not gonna feel like a man, bro. You feel like you're a bitch, you know? And I don't care if these people on my comment section tell like, oh, women are not everything. Oh, just focus on yourself and the right one will come along. All that bull crap. I don't even listen to that crap, bro. But people have the audacity or nerves to say that. But guess what? I don't even listen to that shit, man. I don't even listen to it because I know it's not true. I know women are not everything, but guess what? A man needs a woman. A man needs experience. You know, a man needs to like have sexual experience with women. A man needs that shit, bro, because everybody else has it. Every other guy has it. And women require men to have sexual experiences. Like, if you don't have sexual experience, you can't even get a number. Like, you can't even get a girl's number. That's how bad it is, bro. That's how bad it is in these dating apps. Or in this real world. But I don't want to drag this video for too long. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I just want to get this out of my chest, you know, because I think like this is something like a lot of men should know. Like, a lot of younger men should know this about women, bro. Like, women are not going to give you a pass if you're not experienced, bro. Like, women are going to give you so much shit for being inexperienced. So get your experience, man. Get your experience. Just don't be a simp. I mean, shit. If you want to be a simp to get some experience, do it, bro. I'm not. It's over for me, bro. It's fucking over for me. I'm 32. I'm done. My life is over. Half of my life is gone, bro. Like, men in my age, they already have families, bro. They already have like they already have their lives. They already have kids. They're not looking to bang all these bitches, bro. They already have done it. You know, men in my age, they already have like 80, 90 bodies, bro. You know, but me, I have 0. I'm 32, I have 0. So, I'm just a nobody, bro. So I'm just telling you, man. I'm just telling you. Get your experience. If you're young, learn how to talk to girls, bro. Learn how to talk to girls. I don't care if you're not attractive. I don't care if you're like this, that, and the other. I don't care if you're short, whatever. Because when I was short, you know, when I was young and I was short, I was obviously short. That kind of stopped me from talking to girls, you know? And back then, women weren't as cool about height as they are now, you know? And I'm telling you, man, do yourself a favor. Just go out there, man. Just go out there. Get as much as you can. Get as much as like badge of honor as you can, bro. Get those numbers up, bro. Because when you get older, you can't start all over again. When you get older, it's over. You know, when you get older, bro, your chances are getting obliterated. Your opportunities are getting shambled. You know, it's just like how it is, man. Because people in my age, they are like people already expecting me to have family and girlfriend and already have like kids and everything, and I don't have none of it, bro. You see how embarrassing it is? Now I know like you shouldn't go based on what people say, but at the same time, society has these standards for us men. You know, society has these standards like by this age you should be already like established like a marriage. You should have already you should already have kids. You should have already have this. You should already have this. Already have this, you know? And if you don't have that, society thinks something is very wrong with you. So and as you get older, your self-esteem is getting lower. Your confidence is getting shattered, bro. Because you never had those experiences. You see like people who are younger than you on the street walking around kissing and all that stuff. You see like all these teenagers like holding hands and all that, kissing and making up. You know, and you see that and you ever had those years, it kind of just demolishes you. You know, because these guys, by the time they get in your age, they're already gonna have like multiple kids. They're already gonna have like multiple baby mamas. They're already gonna have like a body count of like, I don't know, 74, whatever, you know? They're already gonna have family. They're already gonna know exactly how to talk to girls. They're already gonna know exactly how to act around girls, bro. But now you're at the beginning, you know? Now you're starting from scratch. And in your older days, like those guys are already in the finish line and they're younger than you, but you're at the beginning, you know, you're at the very like starting line, you know? And that's gonna like really like take a toll on you, you know? That's gonna take a toll on you. That's gonna like really crush you, bro. But with that said, like I said, you know, you guys, let me know what you guys think about this rant. Let me know what you guys think about like what I just said. Do you guys agree? I know some of you are not gonna agree, which is fine. And I want to apologize because my previous video, I guess like a lot of people thought I was crying and shit. I wasn't crying, bro. I wasn't crying. I was sick. You guys can go back and check the video, bro. Check the beginning of the video or check the end of the video. I told you guys on the beginning and the end of the video that I was sick. And I couldn't talk. So, but with that said, man, you guys have a good one. Leave your comments. If you guys like the content, subscribe. You know, support me because I'm starting this second channel, bro. My first channel got messed up. So I'm starting this channel. I'm trying to grow this channel. Thank God it's growing, but it's very slow. So if you guys are new here, go ahead and, you know, support me. If you don't want to support me, that's fine. But either way, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a good one. I'll see you guys on the next one.